Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our nation has to offer, especially health care. Across every state and every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.
Excuse me! Taxi!
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
And joining us now with some big breaking news in the case of Nancy Guthrie. It looks like there's at least a number of developments today. FBI looking into Mexico. Also, TMZ gets another, quote, ransom note if it's real. Who better than the great crime host, Nancy Grace. And Nancy, we're so thrilled to have you here on Katz and Cosby. It's Rita Cosby, John Katz, of course, also Judge Richard Weinberg, Mike Sapercone, and former New York City Deputy Mayor Rudy Washington. You got a full house. Nancy, fill us in. You have done such an amazing job with this case.
Well, Rita, thank you for inviting me on, and hello to everyone joining in. Rita, it's just developing so quickly. I know a lot of people felt a real gut punch when we learned that there was not a hit in CODIS based on the glove found about a mile and a half away from Nancy Guthrie's home. I am not surprised, nor can we all roll in our, sorrow and feel sorry for ourselves. Most investigations do not fall together this quickly, right? You have setbacks. When people watch trials, Rita Cosby, the trials are the culmination of everything that went right. You don't put onto trial or you don't read in the papers about, we looked at this guy and he was the wrong guy. And we went to this red light cam and there was nothing there. No, you hear the evidence that worked out right. I'm not surprised that a random glove nearly 2 miles away from her home did not yield a CODIS hit. However, I'm placing great faith in touch DNA and DNA left in her home. We've all watched The Porch Guy a million times. Did you see, Rita, him taking his flashlight in and out of his mouth? Saliva on the glove. You think wearing gloves protects you? No, not if you get your own saliva on the glove and then open the doorknob. We recall that her lights were on inside her home, very uncharacteristic at the front door. He turned the lights on when he went in. So they're looking at the doorknobs, inside and out, the light switches, the doorknob to her room, the light switch to her room, anything that was disturbed in the home that was moved or turned over. So DNA is not over yet. Also, we understand, even though Sheriff Nano said 24 hours ago that nobody was looking in Mexico, the FBI says they are looking in Mexico, and they have reached out to Mexican authorities to find out what they can. So they're stretching their tentacles into Mexico. Also, Rita, right now, Google data is showing that there were searches for Savannah Guthrie's mother's home and Savannah's salary just before the kidnapping.
Wow.
Now, that's amazing technology that Google has employed, but they are able to put in keywords and find this, and then they look for the IP address.
Now, Nancy, let me ask you, just on the last one you said, do we know when those internet searches were done? Because that's really relevant. I mean, how often is there a search on Nancy Guthrie and Savannah? How long before?
Well, what we're hearing is about a week before, a little over a week before. Google Trends records show there was one search for Guthrie's address in Catalina Foothills between June 21 and June 28, 2025. That address was searched again June 11. Okay, January 11. That same date, Jan 11, popped up in a message on the Ring camera. Feb 12, asking neighbors to share video. So a lot is happening as it relates to Google. As you recall, Google has been a huge help in this, and it is probably pursuant to a subpoena. Google can hand over information voluntarily, but it's likely pursuant to subpoena. And what I'm talking about is that door cam video that was obtained from Google. Google owns Nest, which was Nancy Guthrie's home surveillance system. She did not have a subscription, which you need to get the video, but they, out of all the trillions of data points Google has, they found Nancy Guthrie's cam, and they uncovered a little bit of video from it. So Google is this amazing, amazing source of data. And we're also learning that Apple and Zuckerberg have offered their services in trying to find Nancy Guthrie. And that is a treasure trove of data.
You know, Nancy, I have a couple big questions. First, you said January 1st, and then June, and you said Catalina Foothills. I've been covering this case. You and I have covered cases for so many years, my friend. And that is the area where they found that glove. And that's where they also did the big SWAT and the bomb. It's no coincidence. So they're clearly looking at this and kind of zeroing in. The other thing is also yesterday, the Sheriff Nanos there in Pima County came out, and he was asked on Fox News, do you believe it was maybe a robbery gone wrong? Or do you believe it was a kidnapping? And he said he believes it was a targeted kidnapping. So kind of fill us in with those pieces.
Yes, absolutely. Think about it. When you hear robbery or burglary gone wrong, Rita, you and I have covered so many cases. That is technical legal term, Rita, BS. When someone comes, the difference between robbery and burglary. Burglary is when someone enters a premises unlawfully. It could be a residence, it could be a commercial enterprise, a business. But you enter unlawfully. You're not supposed to be there. You break in or you come in without permission. That's burglary, but you have to have the intent to commit a felony therein. That could be theft. You could go in and use drugs. You could steal something. You could rape someone. Whatever the felony is, burglary is unlawful entry with intent to commit a felony inside, including kidnapping. Robbery is when you steal something, typically from an individual, like an armed robbery. You stick a gun in somebody's face and you take their wallet. That's an armed robbery. Now, think about it. A burglary gone wrong. In all the cases I have investigated, prosecuted, taken pleas on, covered, when a burglar, a typical burglar comes in, and this is backed up by statistics, they see a person, they're like, oh, no. They run. They get out of there. Their goal is to get the TV, the stereo equipment, the jewelry, the money laying around. They don't want to break in and then go, oh, you know what? Since I'm here, I'll take an 84-year-old woman with me with mobility issues. No, that is not a burglary gone wrong. Same thing with robbery. No, you don't cart off the victim with you. This was a targeted offense. They took her. That's why they went. They did not steal anything. There was nothing in there they wanted. They came in. They were in and out in 41 minutes, and they took her.
What do you think, Nancy, about the forced
or a robbery gone wrong?
Yeah, by the way, I agree. I mean, he could have answered that question 2 weeks ago. I'm with you on that one, Nancy.
I know.
So, Nancy, really quick, what about the forced entry? Do we know? He still seems cagey on that. And what about this new ransom note that came out today? And it was, and also the same, TMZ, correct me if I'm wrong, but TMZ was pointing, he got a message, was a day or so ago where he said, I saw him, this alleged ransomer, if it's correct or not, I saw Nancy Guthrie with them in Mexico. I mean, maybe there's more to it.
Well, you cannot discount it, Rita. You can't. Is it far-fetched? Maybe. But I have noticed in the multiple notes sent through Harvey Levin at TMZ that none of the facts are inconsistent. They don't contradict each other. There are additional facts which I look for when a witness is on the stand, have they changed their statement, even in a minor way. And if they change their statement, I can attack their credibility. If they simply add facts or embellish their statement, that is to be expected upon questioning. But I notice that these notes do not have any inconsistencies. This last note, however, I believe it will be the fourth one from the guy, the rat, wanting to rat on the rat, has a different address and a different type of alternate currency. They're not asking for Bitcoin. They're asking for an alternate to Bitcoin. There's a number of alternate currencies. It could be any one of them. Also, this last note, Rita, threatens Nancy Guthrie severely. The exact threat hasn't been revealed, but it's very graphic, we are told, and that is unlike the other notes. So I find that extremely, extremely critical. Also, we're learning right now that polygraph testing is being conducted at Pima County Sheriff's.
Oh, interesting.
It's unclear who is being polyed. But right now, somebody is being polygraphed at Pima County Sheriff's, and I'm waiting to find out who.
Are those people really mad that you think it was mishandled by the family,
or by the local sheriff? You mean?
Oh no, by the family.
I don't know what you mean. How could it have been mishandled by the family?
Well, they wanted this and they wanted that, and say, okay, we'll give you the money, and that's it.
Okay, I think you're referring to, did the family handle the ransom correctly?
That's correct.
I believe that the family acted in conjunction with what the FBI told them to do. So I believe that they are under direct supervision from the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah, by the way, I agree. They're probably watching them every step of the way and guiding them every step of the way. Right, Nancy?
Yeah, and I also believe, Rita, that Savannah's pleas to find Nancy are from the heart, yet also I believe that she has been tutored by the FBI. You and I both know Savannah. I worked with her for years at Court TV. She is just as kind and sincere and genuine off camera as she is on camera. That's who she is. And I believe her messages, her pleas to the public are genuine. But she has not gone rogue. She is listening to the FBI, I guarantee you, and trying to follow along with what they want her to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, what a tough situation. Nancy, we are praying Nancy Guthrie comes home safe. Wow.
Thank you, Nancy, for all your help.
Yeah, Nancy, you're awesome, honey.
You
are terrific.
Me, guys.
We love you, Nancy.
Me.
We love you. You're the best, Nancy. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Wow.
Rural Americans deserve access to the best of what our country has to offer, especially health care. Across every state, every community, America's rural hospitals are the first line of defense, protecting our families, neighbors, and loved ones. No matter where you live, hospital care doesn't clock out. They're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Each year, America's over 5,000 hospitals care for millions of patients, providing 24/7 emergency care, delivering babies, cancer treatments, and other life-saving care that patients rely on. Behind every one of those patients are doctors, nurses, and caregivers working tirelessly to keep people healthy and safe. Hospitals are our community's lifelines. They employ our neighbors and keep our families healthy. But now, some in Congress are threatening access to care. Tell Congress, protect patient care to keep America strong. Don't cut rural health care.